Welcome to the Strategic Management course. In this course, we are going to discuss the basic functions of how to manage an enterprise, but not only just how to manage it, but we will put special emphasis on the strategy behind the management of the enterprise. This is an exciting topic because, as you well know, the marketplace is highly competitive. Enterprises come and go every day, and the ones that have the right strategy become the winners. So in this course, what we will try to understand is what are the aspects of strategy in management of an enterprise that can turn it into a winning organization. This is going to be a very exciting course. The course will be very dynamic. We would have a lot of interaction. There will be discussions groups. We will have very interesting materials to read and to discuss, and we will have a very interesting case study that illustrates how to arrive at a winning strategy in an organization. So let me again welcome you to this course. I think that we're going to have a great time. This will be a lot of fun, and we will learn a lot of very useful techniques. So before we start talking about strategy, it is important to look at the basic functions of managing an enterprise. The question is, well, how do you run an enterprise? What do you do to manage an enterprise? There are a series of basic functions that are required to manage an enterprise. The first one is planning. What do we mean by planning? Well, you need to set objectives. You have to ask yourself the question, where do we want to go? What do we want to do? What do we want to achieve? So the planning function is that of, number one, setting the objectives, and number two, deciding on what are the steps that you have to go through to reach those objectives. So this, as you can see, is a very important function of an enterprise, is deciding what do we want to achieve with this enterprise and how are we going to do? What steps do we go through to get to the desired results? The result of planning is a master plan that tells us the steps necessary to get to our objectives. Next, once we have a plan, we need to get organized. How are we going to do this? Well, the enterprise has a team of people and has a series of resources available. So we need to decide who is going to do what. That means we need to develop an organizational structure. We need to establish groups within the enterprise, and we need to provide those groups with a well-defined function. What is each group responsible for? What are they going to do? So this is the purpose of the organizing function, is to create the necessary infrastructure in the organization that would allow us to achieve the goals stated in the master plan. Once we are organized, then we need to have some leadership in the organization that provides the direction to the team to actually move forward according to the plan. So we have a plan, we have an organization that enables us to achieve the objectives of the plan, and then we put in place the leadership to get the organization moving towards the execution of the plan. The next question is, as time goes on, we need to ask ourselves, are we achieving our goals? Are we doing what we said we would do in our plan? For example, we may ask, are we achieving the level of sales that was predicted in our plan? Another question may be, how about our costs? Are we spending the amount of money that we allocated in the plan, or are we spending more than that? Another question is, how long is it taking us to achieve the goals? Is it taking us longer than we said in the plan, or are we going according to plan, or are we doing better than the plan? Well, the answer of all those questions is what is called the control function. So there had to be a series of measures that are made on the performance of the enterprise to determine if we are indeed following the plan. It may very well be that based on the experience and based on the results that we have obtained, that we need to modify the plan somewhat. So this becomes a cycle where we go through all the phases, and maybe as a result of the adjustment of the plan, we may need to make some changes to the organization, for example. Anyway, those are the fundamental functions in managing an enterprise. So as you can see, this gives us a very good general overview of what it is that we need to do to effectively manage an enterprise.